I will first of all need to select the relevant supplier from my supplier list. If I use the drop-down arrow, I can choose my supplier. I will also need to record the date of the bill, the reference number if applicable, and finally the amount due as well. What I can then do is complete the memo field if appropriate, and then finally complete the VAT amount as well. You'll notice that the account has already been chosen for me. However, I can amend that if I wish to. Once I've completed this, the net amount will automatically default to the amount in the column. Supplier invoices can be applied to a particular customer or job for job costing or reporting purposes. And I also have the option of billing the expense to a customer invoice either with a markup or at cost. This would be particularly useful in the example of a builder who has purchased specific materials for a customer job. I'm going to select my customer, and I'm then going to say that is billable. Once the invoice has been created, what I can then do is press save and close. Now, if you wish to invoice the customer for the materials that were billed, what I need to do is go back to Invoices, select Create Invoices from the home page, and what I will then do is select my customer. As you can see, the billable time and /cost window will display. If I wish to apply the outstanding cost of the invoice, I can simply select the outstanding billable time and cost to add to this invoice. I can then select OK. And if I go through to expenses, I can then select OK to the building merchant and select OK again. That will then be entered onto my invoice. Now at this stage, I can then select the specific cost and also include a markup percentage if applicable. The markup percentage will not show on the customer's invoice. Please note that if you record a markup, you also need to assign this income against the income category in the chart of accounts. I'm going to go back to the main page because what I'm now going to do is pay the supplier invoice. And to do this, I select Pay Bills. I can select Pay Bills from the main home page or select Suppliers from the main toolbar, then press Pay Bills. This will open up the following Pay Bills dialog box. I first of all need to select the bill that I have paid by clicking the checkbox alongside the bill. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I can then record the date, along with the payment method, and also the bank account in which the bill is paid. Please note that Intuit provides the option of using pre-printed checks to pay your suppliers. You can find more information on this service by visiting www.intuit.co.uk. If you do not use this service, change the method to assign check number. You will then be asked to record the check number or reference number used to pay by the bill. What I can then do is select OK, and it will then give me my payment summary, and I can then press Done. We will now have a look at how to record payments in QuickBooks. To record payments such as petty cash transactions, bank charges, direct debits, standing orders, loan payments, and any payment where there is no supplier invoice, we can click on the icon called Write Checks. Alternatively, you can also go onto the banking menu from the main toolbar and select Write Checks from there. First of all, I need to select the bank account in which the payment has been debited from. I'll also be asked to record the amount and also the date of whom the money was paid to. I'm going to select my building merchant and then enter in the amount. If this is a regular supplier, I can also go on here and use the drop-down arrow and choose my different suppliers from here as well. However, if the payment is a one-off, for example, a petty cash transaction, I can record the name of the payment in the memo field here. Positioned at the bottom of the green check, you will notice a checkbox which says to be printed. If you're not planning on printing this check or do not want to use Intuit Check Service, you can unclick this box. This will then enable you to record a check number above the date. Once I've chosen my account and I've then chosen my VAT code, I can then press Save and Close. If this payment is for a direct debit, I can also type DD or SO for standing order. As with supplier invoices, payments can also be assigned and recorded as billable to a customer and invoiced in the same way. If the payment is a direct debit or standing order, this transaction can be memorised, which will save me time having to enter it into QuickBooks the next time it is due out. Let me demonstrate this now. I'm going to go back into Write Checks. I'm going to choose my supplier, my water company. I'm going to enter in my standing order amount and in the memo type standing order. I'm then going to choose my VAT code. Now at this point, what I can do is, before I save the check, I'm going to go to Edit on the main toolbar. I'm then going to select Memorize Check. I will also need to type in a name for the memorized transaction. For this example, water company, but you may also want to pop in mobile phone bill or electricity company. If I'd like QuickBooks to process this transaction automatically for me at the frequency, I'll set Automatic Transaction Entry. If instead I would like QuickBooks to remind me when the transaction is due, I can use the Add to Reminders list. This will prevent the transaction from being entered automatically and is useful for those direct debits that fluctuate from month to month like a phone bill. I can then choose the frequency and also the next date. When I click on OK, that information has been entered. This will then bring me back to the main check, and at this point I can either press Save and Close, and that will then take me back to the main page. If I want to view a list of all my memorized transactions, these can be viewed by clicking List from the main home page, followed by Memorized Transaction List. As you can see, we have my memorized transaction as shown on screen. Let's now move on to our next section. And QuickBooks provides an effective way to help me manage stock in my business. Now, in order for the stock options to be available, the stock function must be turned on first. If this has not been done as part of setup, I would need to do the following. First of all, I would select Edit from the main toolbar, followed by Preferences. I would then choose Items in Stock, and then choose the company preferences. I need to ensure that the item, stock and purchase orders are active, that this box is ticked. I can click on OK, and that will then take me back to the main home page. Now, when setting up items that I sell in my items and services list, I will now be given the option to add in a stock part. So, for example, let's go into Items and Services. We have a list of all my items and services here. I'm going to add in a new stock item. Therefore,